I forgot about that song. Hucksters, fraudsters, and scam artists, Ponzi schemes, STRCCCCC Ponzi schemes. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dan Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystems. So, we're watching Bitcoin. We just, man, we don't even get, sometimes we have a hard time trying to figure out what exactly we want to talk about because there's just so much happening in crypto. There's always something exciting happening in the markets. But first, we want to get just right into the Bitcoin price action, where we're kind of looking at the 5-minute chart, which is kind of dumb. You know, when you're looking at the 5-minute chart on Bitcoin at these points, you know, unless you're like, you know, these, you know, small time frame trader, you're trying to scalp, you're scalping the market. It really, it's not gonna, it might just fake you out, because here we had this little Wyckoff pattern that we thought was going to break out, but then we had the invalidation happen right here, and then it all correlated and coincided with some bearishness of the Trump posts regarding Iran. And so, but with the summit, with Trump bringing the entire U.S. economy with him to China, I think the war is technically already in. Why do I think this? Because Vitalik live in Spaces? Really? Send me the link. GB just said Vitalik is live in Spaces. If Vitalik is live in Spaces, no one's gonna tune into this one. They're gonna try and track down Vitalik and see what the heck he's gonna say. If he's gonna say the ticker's Bitcoin, you know, I did fix the contract, or he's going to say, guys, get out. It's all cooked. Get out while you can. But welcome, everyone. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell. It's Monday. It's 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We do these live streams Monday through Friday. So we needed to hold this level. So I was thinking 76K was a key level that we needed to hold, because if we lose that level, they're just bringing it right back to where, basically, if you went long from Jerome Powell's last speech was the bottom from this recent run. Because if you look at the structure here, it's pretty apparent that they're using this market and Bitcoin and the oil futures, the commodities, to manipulate the price up and down. And you think, why is that every freaking time Michael Saylor smash buys a ton of Bitcoin? And the same with Tom Lee. They always announce in the headlines, Tom Lee buys, you know, $1 billion of ETH, whatever, however much, you know, millions and millions of dollars of ETH. Michael Saylor's buying Bitcoin. Like, why does the price keep going down? Well, if we were to look on chain, we'd go to Arkham Intelligence and look at changes like Binance and OKX and OURBIT and all the big boys, Coinbase too. They're wash trading the damn thing. And all the while, you're thinking, why would they do this to us? Well, they don't care about you. They want you to be poor. And that's just the truth. That's why they spent, you know, millions of dollars on an NFT by Kobe on a dead crypto show that they're not even going to make an episode. They can't even decide. That's what we have such a hard time talking about things, man. ADD, there's so much to talk about in crypto that connects everything, and everything is ridiculous. And so we got to cover it. So here is what's so funny about crypto is that Kobe said, if I was, first, listen, hydratedcarlo.eth said, if I was Brian Armstrong, I'd feel scammed. There's certainly 10 good guests, but nobody talks with them. And said we always have the same group of scammers in the rotation. They push some bullshit narrative accompanied with some BS coins. And I'm like, agreed. I could agree to that. And then Kobe goes, doubt we will ever do it again, saying about the Up Only TV show. He said, doubt we'll ever do it again, maybe one day, but today is not even possible to curate a list of 10 good guests. In my opinion, Kobe said, that's funny. You could get Jeff, Hyperliquid Jeff, who's literally the only person out of the decentralized perp market that we've had, which is a lot of it has been scammed, washed, manipulated, traded. Jeff has been in the United States with law policymakers trying to figure out how to not probably get everyone to KYC and still use Hyperliquid decentralized. And then look, then we were talking about it in the meeting this morning. If you're in the Telegram, that a headband was mentioning that an entity, was it Grayscale? It was someone, they're selling their Solana ETFs to buy the new Hyperliquid ETFs that are being set up. And then, God, we could go into Hyperliquid, which we are going to. Kobe said, well, what are 10 good guesses then? Richard Hart came in and said, you don't need 10, you need 1. Then you can worry about the next one. And I said, literally just get Richard. 17 people liked it whenever I, pretty quickly. And someone came in and said, yes, Kobe, invite Richard on. He's been hiding away because he ran his mouth too much and got humbled. It'll be interesting to see if he dodges you too. And I did like that comment because I get it. Because a lot of people in the Pulse Chain community think that Richard Hart has been gaslighting the community, blaming the community for being upset about the price when they're like, well, bro, we all sacrificed all this money. You basically made us buy the top. And he's like, stop, you guys are cry-fagging too much. And so it's just back and forth of who is right or wrong. And, it's just funny, though. But I said, look, he did beat the SEC. Technically, the only founder who has beat the SEC. Well, the other ones had just their cases dropped. They were like, okay, we'll just drop. But yeah, so just get Richard Hart. I think that'd be interesting. And then all these posts about getting Richard on something get more engagement than the people that actually end up going on the thing. For instance, Ran Newmer had CZ on. He was making it, and we made a video about it. We actually made a video about it that people were rabbit holing, and they were speculating that it was going to be that Ran was hinting that he had Richard Hart as the interview, but it ended up being CZ. Then the post that people were thinking it was going to be Richard Hart got more engagement than the actual CZ interview itself, which means no one cares about CZ. We've heard enough about CZ. CZ's basically just been gloated all around in the algorithm for the past, 2 years with all the different freaking scams that he's involved with, especially with the Trump family and Binance and the DOJ and the freaking just God, you name it. I can't even get, that's a whole nother rabbit hole you could go down. So it shows that people don't care and they're like, enough of CZ. We want Richard Hart, the person that the market has been gatekeeping for years. I find it hilarious. I will follow this, and I think it's the highest valued content that you could pay attention to in crypto, 100%. And it shows. I didn't do any promotion on this video, and it's gotten more views and comments and actual real likes than all these other videos, but even the Hyperliquid one, which we're going to go into, is that this Hyperliquid video was posted over a month ago, that we were talking why Hyperliquid is key to understanding the bull run. Look at all of this attention that's coming onto Hyperliquid about if it's going to be KYC'd or not, or if it's, how much of the trading volume is going to go into this chain. When you talk about, look, for instance, their own post, RWA trading on Hyperliquid reached a new all-time high, 2.6 billion open interest. You can see that Solana is coming out, and anytime something is dominating like what Hyperliquid is, all the other chains come out and are trying to offer their, product in competition to it. And you can see it as it's good and it's healthy competition. That's what drives more adoption, build better code, better products, because not everyone is going to just be, it's like a pizza place. you know, you know, there has to be there has to be more than one pizza place in the ecosystem in a neighborhood and in a town, because then why would you want centralized pizza? The hell is wrong with you? You got to know that maybe one place has a good thing than the other. You know, there's like, but then ultimately there ends up being the winners, and it's judged by the community. Do you get it? So it's like, it's no different in any other ecosystem. So that's just a fact. and whether you like kook or not, like you think kook is like a grifter, you know, whatever. He's bullish on some of the similar things that I'm bullish on without me having to see his post. But he says, hype has almost retraced the entire Coinbase CRCL partnership news. Institutions want your hype and they want it badly. He's like, do not sell it to them. And I feel like that is funny how it can seem like that. Like the timeline will make you think that you need to give up. Biggest crash is coming in history. Biggest crash ever is right now. It's here. The biggest crash in history. And I don't buy it. I think the biggest crash in history is coming after the Trump presidency. They're not gonna, it's like, because you could see it as a scenario that the market does crash, and then it would be the biggest recovery going out of the Trump administration, and whoever's going to be ushered in to be the new president, if it's going to be Marco Rubio or JD Vance, because there's some toss-ups into who the system is trying to put in and usher in as the president. You think all of the connections, and if people want to go down that rabbit hole, especially when we had that shooter at that dinner, the White House correspondent dinner, imagine they got JD Vance off that stage quick. They were like, get out of here. And Trump was still sitting there like a duck, like a freaking, like this. He was just, you know, sitting there like that. Maybe because he knew it was like, but I don't know. It was just funny. It was all, because it's all the staging, all this kind of stuff that you could you try and connect your dots. Man, the autistics and the the conspiracy theorists, they are like, they wake up monitoring the situation every day. Hilarious. But welcome, guys. I want to give some shout outs. We got Emmanuel in the house. We have GB in the house. You know, I say, look, best thing that ever came out of me finding the ticker Bitcoin is GB in Canada, and is more light because, you know, I guess if anything, he has not shilled any other project or ticker besides ticker Bitcoin, and you got to give him credit for that. You know, it's tough to do. Tough to do. It's a hard job, but and then also Graham, like, you know, meeting, I think Graham, you know, coming on the show and, you know, giving his honest opinions, and, you know, I think that might be the best things that have come out of the ticker. But the damn token itself, you know, gosh, it is in the toilet. It's terrible. Even the devs had to admit it. They were like, SPX 6900 basically, they won. As gay as the community can be sometimes, you know, it's like they're going like, we can make it, we will flip the stock market together, and they don't see a single woman in sight. There's not a single chick in sight. It's all dudes. And you're like, that went to 2 billion. So I get it. But, you know, when something's your favorite coin, it almost becomes a collectible at that point. Like a collectible. It's like an NFT. And chart being down, bad, losing money, I mean, gee. All my favorite tokens. Honky, Pepe, ticker Bitcoin, Dogecoin. I think maybe Dogecoin is the only coin that I never round-tripped, that I actually successfully sold at a 5. I think I sold at a 6x or something like that on Robinhood back in 2021. And then after the pump, I've just bought different amounts of Doge, you know, just after the fact. Because from 75 cents, I mean, it's kind of been ranging from the bottom to 22 cents and shit cents. So, while there are things that you're going to trade as your institutional like bets, you know, Hyperliquid, Sui, Sol, ETH, Bitcoin, all that stuff, you're gonna still have some of your collectibles, okay? And you're either gonna ride them to zero, or you're gonna maybe, I don't know, sell next time. Sell next time like the rest of them. And don't let anyone convince you that you have to dime in hand the whole damn thing the whole time. You do got to pay yourself a little bit. Holy crap. All jokes aside, that was Ticker Bitcoin. We talked about it this morning. Ticker Bitcoin, 9 times you could have sold. But if you believed too hard and got in the Telegram and they were like, don't you dare coom, then you're forever a Telegram community holder. So you have to beat your own, you have to like battle your own, it's all your fault. It's no one else's fault. You know, and that's with any token. Can't blame anyone. Because trust me, I don't care what project it is. I don't care who you are. I don't care what they say. Everyone has wallets. Every. And if they say they don't, they're probably lying. And I'm just saying that for every project. All the ones I like. And they're not going to take they're not taking that risk. I'm sorry. No one's taking that risk. It's just like everyone in the big boys. Just like Zcash. Zcash is the future, right? Why did they sell? You think this is a game? No, but it's you know, but it's a believer cycle. It's a believer cycle. And everyone has their own different strategies and ways that they're going to have to go about this. But here's Jeff. Let's talk about Jeff, Hyperliquid. If you're still with me, if you're still hitting the like button, smash it, destroy it. It's Monday. Get with the program. And if that Vitalik is live in a space right now, that would be insane. Get this. Is he still live in it? You're trying to, GB, hopefully you're not trying. Nope. This was Jeff, Hyperliquid, talking about I was talking with policymakers in the United States, and people were kind of, you know. Yeah. Block list. Okay, Jeff, Hyperliquid Jeff. He said, I spent the past few days in Washington with Hyperliquid, meeting with policymakers during the historic advancement of the Clarity Act. We discussed Hyperliquid, the benefits that it offers to American consumers, and the regulatory path to bring on-chain derivatives markets in the United States. Some conversations were technical with an impressive baseline understanding of Hyperliquid. Discussions included how on-chain trading is a financial innovation that has clear global user demand. Other conversations focused more on a first principles introduction to DeFi and the promise of on-chain markets. It was encouraging to see bipartisan support for thoughtful regulation of crypto. I look forward to continuing discussions in DC and working hard to make American access to Hyperliquid a reality. And then Tolly came in and said, well, if you enjoy Hyperliquid, give Phoenix Trade a spin. And then Liberty Swap is like, well, if you love real decentralization, you will love Pulse Chain. So everyone has got their, everyone's got their narrative that they're pushing and stuff. But what I like is if you're in the dojo crew, you've been at least informed about all of these different most popular narratives and asymmetric upside potential things that are at their, peaks or bottoms. Hyperliquid is at like about to be like price discovery. That's in its own territory when it comes to like its whole attention in terms of the institutions and what's happening decentralized perps, which is the hot top 3 narrative in crypto right now. It's perps. It's how cheap is it? Does it have access to all the markets in terms of the RWAs and tokenized stuff? Can it handle the trading? How much volume? What's the revenue being generated? Hyperliquid has all of those things going for it. It's just a matter of like, when's the breakout and price discovery gonna happen? Is it gonna happen this year? Is it gonna happen next year? It's gonna happen. It's the obvious pick. It's the platform that is better, works better. Any competition, they're just copying and then not generating as much revenue, and they're just trying to play catch up. So, and that's kind of funny what's happening with STRC and then buying Bitcoin and their whole Bitcoin strategy, this whole thing. Any other company that is going to adopt this model will be playing catch up. But if Bitcoin goes to $1 million, they still got a chance because then they're operating in that same Bitcoin capital digital market that, quote, CoffeeZilla thinks is a Ponzi scheme and he'll never take part of it. Cool. Get your YouTube checks. But CoffeeZilla got mogged by one of the guys that's on the STRC team and on, and works for strategy, and was just basically like, look, it's just a product. It's a product and it has risk built into it that's based off a Bitcoin capital digital market. You can kind of understand it a little bit, but I mean, I'm sure there's all these like, it's kind of has its technical aspects, and if you're not like a financial guru, you might not understand fully all of the mechanisms of it, and just know that probably half the people that are investing in crypto, probably would say 80%, don't know shit about crypto and don't know the inner working mechanism. They're just like, oh, this one looks, the price is going up, let's buy this. But this is something really interesting too that we want to talk about, is the algorithm that X basically put open source out, and there's all these different components that you can dive into and run through chat models to basically help in understanding the algorithm more. And it's based off of this Phoenix model. And it's like a scoring system. I mean, you can go real deep into this. And so what I'm doing currently, I haven't made a video on it yet, but I think a video on this would be very beneficial, is to just show people that just by them doing this, you can run this into all kinds of different scenarios. Just running this into your own posting agent, your own Claude agent, Grok, whatever it is. Now you can link, apps into Grok. I think the same thing you can do with Claude. That's what the new AI chat models are updating now, that you can directly like link in your apps to it, and then it'll just like work and post. You could already could do this if you ran it through your like server side, and you ran it on your if you ran it on the terminal. Like say you turn your computer into like running it on the terminal server side, and you could be already like doing it this way, but now it's just like you can do it inside of the model. Oh, I ate breakfast. I ate some steak and eggs. I had to eat. I did eat. No, I wanted to eat. Needed to eat because like I don't want to. Because already, I feel like I'm getting mogged on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know why they're mogging me so much. I got one person. I got one person on YouTube. Jeez, and let's see what they're doing to me on X. Hopefully, it's not that bad. Okay, I got at least 21. All right, well, what all 21 of you have to do is keep me up on X, but then pull up the YouTube and just come in and like it. You don't even have to stay. Just come in and like it. And then you can continue to still watch on X if that's where you prefer to watch it. But yeah, we could talk about a lot of stuff. There's so many things that I think we're early to. I think being in crypto right now is like the best place to be in any financial situation. Learning what the institutions are picking as the winners. I think learning what is the biggest gate kept like ecosystem. I think that's Richard Hart. I think that's that whole story. I love it. I love all of everything about it. I can't help it. I love the Pulse Chain community's spirit and their heart. Like, imagine you have been making all-time lows whilst everything else is making all-time highs, and you continue to stay. That, you can't teach that. And that is the kind of holders and community and people that you want in any coin. Anything. Is that they continue to stay. And so there's something about that. And Richard Hart, oddly enough, always hints at like, hey, the people who are willing to suffer the pain like the Bitcoin holders did. You got to think about, we talk about how the Bitcoin holders on chain back from, like if they were able to withstand the pain of how many to zeros, almost to zeros Bitcoins had, and then has came back from the dead and gone up hundreds of thousands of percent, then they were massively rewarded. Pavel Durov was one of those people, Da Vinci Jeremy, a lot of those OG Bitcoin people, and some of them you'd have no idea who they are, and Richard Hart is one of those people. Like he was one of those early proponents of mining Bitcoin early on, which funded a lot of his work, but then he ends up creating Hex, which he was calling a better Bitcoin because of the mining aspect, and it's, what he thought was better. And then the same with Pulse Chain, saying it's a better Ethereum. But still rides on the fact of like Ethereum's success, because look, he basically top blasted Ethereum. He bought Ethereum at the absolute top. There's also a whole narrative of PDAI, which is the stable coin that was, we don't know who created it, who was the exploiter of it, why it's even in the ecosystem to begin with, because you got to think there's all these bridge tokens. There's PHEX, there's all these different tokens and stable coins that were initially could be minted on the chain when it first went live. And so PDAI is now was apparently going to be this thing where it would eventually peg and go to $1 and become the de facto stable coin that doesn't have any admin keys. You can't like freeze it. It would just be a parodied stable coin that doesn't have the same restrictions as any other stable coin in any other chain. And so that's why some of the people that are still in the Pulse chain ecosystem are betting on Richard Hart pumping the chain and holding PDAI, holding some of these core coins, as well as some of the established meme coins and projects like maybe PTGC, like the Grace currency, or I mean, yeah, you just go down the list. There's only maybe a couple ones, and then you have the core coins. You got ProveX, the privacy, you got all these different coins, and then they're all paired in the ecosystem coins, and they're also paired in the liquidity pool with PDAI. So then PDAI goes to a 50 cents or $1. These coins are paired in PDAI. You get this whole crazy effect happening inside of this ecosystem, and it interests me a lot. So people are still here. People are still loud. They're still, talk about Pulse. And I think it's something really interesting to follow as kind of like a fun speculation, mega risky, high risk, high value content, entertaining, amazing. That's why I follow it. So I highly suggest putting all notifications on Richard Hart, following that Pulse chain ecosystem community. I'm not telling you to buy shit. Obviously, we're not a financial advisor. None of the content is financial advice. But this is fun. It's the highest value content in most gate-kept ecosystem in crypto. Why would you not want to even just watch it and see what happens? That's how I operate. I like to watch this stuff and see what happens. And I'll put a little bit of money in there. I like participating. Like I said, it's the easiest one. You can participate and do some DeFi stuff, play around with a little bit, just see what's going on. But like I said, it's been down only. It's been making new all-time lows. So and it's funny, it's like you could say the same thing about Ticker Bitcoin. Ticker Bitcoin's been making new highs, it's been making new lows. I'm like, no, don't make a new low. And it's funny. I don't know if this was like a joke. Like, why is this a joke? Because I made this on the chart. I drew a coffin and I said, basically the people that are buying this coin right now, or they bought it around here and they're holding, and they're basically down from this line 8 cents. You are now down 81%. And if it goes any lower, you're going to be down completely to zero. And what's really crazy is that I drew this coffin. I was like, people, you just have to accept your fate, and you're dead. It's cursed. It's not coming back. I don't know what this candle is. This death candle, but it literally went straight through my heart, like inside the coffin. What is that? It was like boom. Someone that's better at DeFi, wrapped Ethereum contracts, explain what that was, because that was basically like someone pulled a massive clip out. Headband said, easy, liquidity's being rebalanced. Well, it looks like it just got rebalanced through my chest. Okay, well, I mean, because people are going to see that and they need to know. It's like they have to understand if that is what it is. If the liquidity was being rebalanced, And what's weird is that Dex Screener just does some weird stuff. I'll tell you, Dex Screener will do weird stuff. They do weird stuff. They do really weird stuff. Like, the liquidity had never showed it being locked on ticker Bitcoin ever. I've looked at this contract every day, and it never showed a lock on it, ever. And you can't tell me otherwise. I look at the contract more than anyone. I bet your ass I do. I look at charts every day. I look at all these things. Never showed a lock on it. And then now it shows a lock, but it's under 1 million. So I got receipts. I go live every day. You can't tell. You can go back. I can run my shit through AI and it would pull. I'd be like, pull up every time I pulled up the ticker Bitcoin chart and show me any time it had a lock on the liquidity. And it would be like, Dano, it was never showed a lock the entire time you were live streaming. I'm like, yeah, I know. I fucking look at the chart every day. You're not gonna, convince me. So it's locked now, but at 979K as reference to, but look, I guess it was under, well, it was at like 20 mil, it was at like 19 million market cap. It was at 1 million, but then people are selling though. I mean, they're just like booming all over the place. Andrew said, how's the portfolio going? How do you think the portfolio is going? Andrew? What kind of question is that? Are you seriously asking me that question when I've said I hold a lot of ticker Bitcoin? I'm just No, the portfolio is fine. It's not at zero. Okay, I at least have a portfolio. I at least have crypto left from all of this ridiculousness that I've experienced over the past 4 years. I at least have some crypto. I've had to learn the hard way, but I think I've figured out like what could be some strongholds for the next few years. And I really do honestly believe we got about a couple of more years before one day you're going to go short and we're going to celebrate. No, I'm not going to short. No. Nope. Not going to short. It's against my philosophy. I'm not going short. And it's like, I feel like everyone's trying to convince me to go short. Oh, if you just short. At least I have crypto. I mean, half the people in crypto don't even have crypto. I don't even know what they have. I feel like half the people are grifters. They don't even have crypto. At least I have a DCA bag of crypto. I got something, I got some Ponky. I got some Hyperliquid. I got some Sui. I got a little bit of Orca. I even started DCAing into a Ton bag. And I have some Ethereum, damn it. I even have Ethereum. I'm like Tom Lee over here. I mean, yeah, I mean, if really true though, Andrew, it's funny because like, and also good to see you, bro. I feel like we haven't talked in like forever, but I hope you're doing well. I hope your family's doing good. Hope you're going into an abundant summer, good summer, with whatever you're doing. But yeah, I think obviously like you see how the timeline is. Like most people, like if you were to look at most crypto accounts, it seems like they don't even like crypto. They're like, oh, crypto's dead. if Hyperliquid can continue on this path, and people are already posting Hyperliquid will never flip Solana, and then it's funny once you start seeing that and you see the response, the overwhelming response from Solana trying to promote another option than Hyperliquid, that's when you're going to continue to see Hyperliquid getting closer and closer to flipping Solana. Which would be crazy. But that doesn't mean Solana's not going to do well. That's what's funny. It's like I think Solana still has a chance. And I have a whole kind of, thesis and view on that, and then why you would want to hold certain tokens on Solana. Funny enough, I think, going back, we went back to basics. We went back to basics and put the helmet back on. Look, Ponky has always been my favorite meme coin on Solana. I don't care. You can call it a forced meme. You can call it a whatever. I saw it before it was a forced meme or it was viral on Instagram or TikTok or wherever and all the shorts and stuff, because I don't even use those platforms. I don't even use that. I literally stopped using those in 2022 and in 2023. I stopped using all of those platforms, and I literally went straight to Twitter and X, because that's just where it is. That's where crypto is. But I still was on Dex Screener, Dex Tools. I was looking on chain, and I remember seeing this monkey. It was minted 2.5 years ago, or almost 3 years ago now, when you look at the contract. And I saw this early, and I remember, dang, I was like, this is kind of like a Pepe. It's kind of like a Pepe derivative, but of a monkey. And I love the narrative of it, or the theme. It's a degenerate monkey. He's like he goes through all the emotional cycles of a trader on chain, and it just made sense. I was like, yeah, this is a great meme for Sol. I was like, Sol needs a Pepe like character like this. I was explaining this years ago, and I still believe in it. It's like when I go back and I think, what really truly was my favorite meme coin to hold and to kind of like, I liked Ponky. So that chart is also down really bad, but we've seen some pumps recently. We've seen it trying to break out of this descending wedge. We've seen some action come back. Started to see some stuff. And I felt that. I made a post about it. Yeah, it was this one. Actually got really good engagement. The official Ponky account actually commented and liked it. Started to see some of the people that like Ponky as well come in and show their support. They got reposted 10 times, got 75 likes, 2,000 views on it. This is posted May 15th. It's the 18th. So, it's been some days. I think, for me, for my posts recently, my posts have been kind of, sometimes they get completely buried, and then I might get 10, 20 average likes and about 1,000 or so, maybe under average impressions on a post. But this one got a lot. And I said, this is a test to see if I have motion to move a coin to the upside. I said, I believe I do. This one picture should get you massively bullish on Sol legacy meme coins like Ponky. And this is just to kind of build the case and the thesis, not just around Ponky, but around legacy meme coins that have IP and that have like an established brand. And then the on-chain, the traders and the trenchers that are just kind of flipping these 30K, 40K, shitters on Pump Fund or whatever, hoping one of them hits or, goes to the millions, whatever it is, they get bored with that eventually. And they go back to the basics. They go back to some things like this. And then you could say maybe even some that are about a year old. You can go back to what was like these different Sol season cycles. Ponky was one of them, but early on. that it's looking like it's ready to pop out of this descending wedge. Whenever SOL stops being wash traded heavily, which I think, SOL is being gate kept in the price heavily by the wash trading and just like the manipulation in the back end, SOL's the easiest one to manipulate. That's why it always stays in that sell range. I call it the sell wall. It's a sell wall. Marty Party's talked about it. If you follow Marty Party, he's like, that's why they don't let SOL get past a certain amount, because if SOL starts to break out and pass BNB in market cap, then BNB can't continue their mobster whatever bullshit that they got going on. They are gatekeeping and manipulating the market probably more so than we even realize. And until we get clarity and all that stuff passes, and Binance can't do that anymore, like on the scope of what they can, and all the other exchanges, people don't it's that the whole market structure is going to change. Why do you think the CME group right now is setting up for all of their customers to have crypto access and trading crypto indexes? They got options. Everything is going to where we're going to have, quote, perps the same, and maybe not even having it to be KYC'd in America. That would be crazy. No KYC in America for perps DEX trading. But I don't know. That would be insane. That would be wild. That would be wild. They just open up jurisdiction. They're just like, you can use Hyperliquid. As long as when you off ramp, and then we can still, we could still just off ramp over here, so then we can know how much you made. Off ramp directly into your tax, off ramp directly to the IRS. Andrew said Solana is crypto more than BTC. But yeah, you notice that in here, there's a list of cryptos that the CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, is bullish on, which is the first like major futures exchange in America. And then next to Bitstamp was the first crypto futures or crypto centralized exchange. It has the longest standing history of a Bitcoin chart. So if you want to look at like previous price action and how the markets were operating from way back, you look at the Bitstamp chart. So you got Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Cardano, Chainlink, and Stellar Lumens. Interesting. But SOL's on the list. So yeah, it's gate kept. But here's this chart. The chart is really interesting because if you look at the blue line, that's Solana. And then if you look at the candles, that's Ponky. And Ponky has reacted very well to SOL. You can see right here, it matched its price action very well. And then you can see when SOL got cooked into the bear flag here, Ponky's kind of just been following this into a descending wedge. But you can see that it's broken out of this descending wedge. We look at the chart. Look, it's just like forming this. Look, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I've just been DCAing. And what's funny, you know what's funny? I noticed these things. Ponky used to be, you could leverage it. You can't anymore. You go on across the market, you can't leverage Ponky anywhere. They canceled that. They took that away. You can leverage all those other meme coins, short that crap to the ground. Can't leverage Ponky. You have to spot buy it or sell it. And look at the liquidity compared to, I don't know, most things. Hopefully it'll let me. Blocking me last time. You look at the liquidity compared to the market cap ratio, it's like really good. It's locked almost 1 point, it was 2 mil, 1.6 million, market cap at 19 million. That ratio is actually not that bad. Like crap if you're looking at it on the daily. But something about Sol, when Sol gets that pop, Ponky going from where it's at right now, even just back to 118 million, which we just saw USD UC do this. That's a 4x. 4.5, 5x right there. In my personal opinion, I think out of any token right now, that has the best chance to do it. And it's not because I'm not saying this because I'm I've DCA'd like a very small amount. I don't even have near as much Ponky as I used to. I get like pennies. So I would be chasing a pump if it even started doing this before I'm realizing it. So it's funny that I remember feeling these same feelings beforehand. And a lot of what I said and predicted came out to be true. And this was with Brett, Honky, Pepe, but I sold way too early. Man. And sadly, with ticker Bitcoin, you know, with ticker Bitcoin, it was like before the fight, I hadn't bought a single coin, but I knew about it. But then after the fight, I became more bullish, and that was, you only had one opportunity to catch that was the final pump. After that, that was it. SPX 6900 took that. Basically absorbed all of that volume. Which is a ticker Bitcoin derivative that was created out of the ashes of a mishap in the ticker Bitcoin casino. No, I don't think anyone realizes that, but that's what's hilarious. Crypto's funny. Crypto is funny. All right, let's see. We got some news. Bitwise to dedicate 10% of Hype ETF management fees to Hype Holdings. And then think about the revenue that Hyperliquid's generating, and you don't think they're gonna pump that damn coin? They're gonna pump that coin. You better be buying some spot Hyperliquid. But so yeah, that's what we've been doing. At least we've been taking part of buying the coin of like at least the winners. It's like I don't want to bet against the winners here. But yeah, Headband makes a good, yeah, we're just making a good point. The liquidity ratio on Ponky is better than anyone's. In terms of like the size of the market cap and the liquidity, you could be buying supply right now, and like you think about it, like the exchanges hold a bunch of supply of Ponky. And why? Because they're probably betting on people thinking, oh, that's a cute little monkey. He looks funny on the Revolut app. Or the Revolut app, or the whatever, or on crypto.com, all the different exchanges that they hold. And that would be the only thing. There's a couple things that could uncurse ticker Bitcoin. We got the Sonic 4 movie coming out. We have people that cash tag or search the normies. They're like, they still don't know about Bitcoin. So when they type in Bitcoin, like ticker Bitcoin might pop up instead, and then they'll laugh and maybe buy a little bit of that. That might give it a little pump. There's still some stuff. So I'll give it that. See, I can be honest, like, but see, because no one else is even, but the thing about the ticker Bitcoin is like, who else is even talking about it right now on a live stream? I'm the only one in the entire world right now that's talking about ticker Bitcoin on a live stream. Let's just be honest. Got me. Grateful, because I could be like, you know what? No, I'm just kidding. Hey, just calling a spade, shoveling. It's just, who else? I mean, come on. Link them. But I like the coin. You don't have to pay me nothing. It could be the dumbest chart ever. Stupid, but I like the freaking thing. Retarded. Anyway, Hyperliquid is getting all this attention. What do you think people do in the money that rotates around in crypto? They find the meme coin and they buy it. They find the meme coin and they buy it. Is probably going to be one of those. But I could be totally wrong. I have no idea. Your job is to figure out what besides Hyperliquid itself, buying the Hyperliquid token, because that's just the same as like you want to have the native asset and then you want to be going into the underlying asset, which is the wheelbarrow, the pickaxe, whatever people are going to be using the most. You can look at, go into the trading volume, look and see. You got Swap. Okay, so this is one of the platforms that actually has a token, because you got HyperSwap, Project X, HyperSwap, Nest, Ramses, Hybra Finance, Kitten Swap. All of these could have a token. I think Project X, I think they might have a token, or not yet. But if you're using Project X, then you could be getting an airdrop of the token. Just like how if you were using Orca early on back in the day, you got an Orca airdrop, and you also got an Orcanaut. So this is how we need to be doing our research here. Look, all this action. Look, you're thinking, oh man, I don't want to buy Hyperliquid. It's too expensive. We'll buy it and then swap it into HyperSwap because it's at 2 million. And then all of a sudden, people are trying to jump on chain to get this price action. It's just getting started. Hyperliquid goes to $100, and then you're DCA'd just a couple, like $100 into this, and you just caught an easy 6x, maybe even a 10x, just by doing some simple moving around on chain like this. I mean, this is the game here. This is the alpha. It's like we know Hyperliquid is being the obvious winner right now, so then it's like you can just catch the exposure, then start to look at what's under it. And that's been like DeFi 101 from the beginning. Just like how when people were like, "Oh, it's ICO season. It's this. I gotta get this coin, so then I can swap it into this to get more risk exposure." But either way, it's still like Marty Party explained. It's not that it's just money. It's still value in the inside of the chain. It's just in a contract that's named swap. It's still Hyperliquid because it's wrapped in Hyperliquid, but when the value's in there, it's still Hyperliquid value in a pool. So it's just a contract. So this is what we're trying to look for. Think like, look, even per it's at 42 mil, but it's held kind of steady. Not a lot of traders on it yet. You can see like there's not a lot of traders here yet, but this is how you're here early. We're always talking about, where do you want to be? We want to be early. This is how we can be early. And it's the same with Pulse Chain. You don't want to be thinking like, oh my God, am I really swapping and bridging into Pulse Chain after I've been made fun of it for years and years? Or you can just be like, you know what? Since it's the most gate-kept community in the entire existence of crypto, maybe I'll put a couple $100 on it and just buy the core coins, provide some liquidity, mine some hex, and see what happens. You're being a participant now. I don't know, but I'm crazy. So, or maybe I'm a genius. I'll let you guys decide. War correspondent, yes. No, I think the war is over. I think all of the headlines, everything you're seeing is just market manipulation. They already got all the bets set. Everything's set. Game set. Match. It's already done. They already got a plan. The war is over. They're just gonna slosh around and maybe push us a little sideways a little bit longer. And then they got the Clarity Act coming in. That's gonna hit. Everything's all set up for trillions of dollars to come on chain, but they washed everyone out of the market beforehand. Oh, and how do you get more dry powder? I'll tell you. You got to get dirty. Wait. Hold on. Let me explain. Emmanuel. So how do you get more dry powder? Well, we're going to have to just mine the fiat, my friends. We can trade. We can definitely trade. That's totally available. That is an option. But I think where you can't, I don't think you want to make that your only thing though, because let's be honest, it's very emotional. It's kind of whips you all around. Even if you have stop losses and take profits set, you're still going to look at your phone. You're still going to like be disconnected from your real life and reality. And you won't like hang out with your kids as much. You won't spend time with your family as much. I'm just telling you the truth. It's the fucking truth. No one will tell you that. They'll say, oh yeah, become a day trader. And like, they don't tell you the consequences of like trying to manage that. If you don't give yourself discipline, rules, a schedule, you don't give yourself a time where you clock out. You don't say, hey, I'm not going to bring my phone to look at my phone whenever I'm hanging out with my family, whatever. Yeah, good luck. You're toast. You're cooked. You are managing yourself, and you probably no. You have no. Unless you have like killer discipline and risk management, that should not be your only thing, because it just shouldn't be. I'm just telling you, you need multiple udders on a cow. Friend told me this. He said, it's like a cow. You would get a cow going. You got all these different udders, and you need to be milking them everywhere at all times. Why do you think people got so scared when the AI thing came in as a narrative of losing jobs? The job you had was already at risk before AI. Companies have a bottom line, and you're the first to go. And that's why you don't put all your eggs in one company's basket, because they will crack your ass. And then you are left picking up the pieces, trying to feel, oh my God, and pensions don't exist anymore. That's not a thing. They're not going to give you a severance package. Yeah, let me pay you out. No, they give you an email like Coinbase did, and they say, bye. Sorry, bro. You're fired. You could have 3 kids, and with one on the way, and Coinbase is going to say, I'm sorry. we spent $5 million on a dead crypto project NFT like show that doesn't even know how to pick a guest. Sorry. So you go find work. You need to get some shit going because you need everything going. Become a contractor. Become a consultant. What are you smart at? Hey, pay me. Pay me to do that. Hey, you don't want to do that? Pay me. I'll do it. These people out here, you got to get going. So get dirty. Look, I got a simple business for you right now. In your town, I bet you got some stinky trash cans. Bet you got some people that hate the flies. I bet you got people that don't want to do that. You knock on their door with a business card. I can make this company in 2 seconds. I already did. Go do it. You can get Claude, Grok, ChatGPT, whichever one you're good at using the best, and you vibe code the website in literally 5 minutes. You go to GitHub, you put it on GitHub in your repository, then you link it into Porkbun, then you get your domain linked with your suppository, and you get everything linked up. It costs $10 for the year to run it, and you can start getting clients and customers and go get your business card printed at Staples right now and go get that money. Stop complaining and go get that fucking money. Go mine that fiat. There's cash out there. There is cash out there. Go get it. And then get back and then get that shit into some assets. Pay your debts and get your crypto bags pumping. That's how you get DCA'd. $100, $100, $100. You got a stinky trash can? $100, $100, $100. I've been doing it in a different way. When I go and run sound for my shows, when I run sound, I say, hey, I offer a service. I'll record the show for you. $100. $100, $100, $100. Boom. So that's what you need to be doing. This is what Ansem and fucking fuckhead Banksy, dude that probably would short your weed bag back in the day, they need to be telling the young people to get out there and hustle that dirty ass money. Get out there. What are you trying to do? Make them gamblers on Poly Market? While they got everything against them to lose because it's a rigged insider's game. Which the DOJ is investigating. Funny enough, they're investigating themselves. Of insider trading manipulating to the billions of dollars when it comes to the prediction markets. See, people don't want to go out there and get their hands dirty, but it's funny, those things like that actually make people millionaires. Easy stuff like that. And nowadays, you can launch this stuff in 2 seconds on your own. I'm using the example as the trash can cleaning business, but this, anything. Dog washing business, whatever you think you can clean up. What is needed right now in summer, it gets hot as hell, humid, people's trash cans stink, there's flies everywhere. They probably don't want to deal with it. They'll probably pay $50 to $100 to get that done. That's a seasonal business. You can be cleaning up $10,000, $20,000 in a season. No? No comments? Okay. Crickets? It was like, I don't know. I think I'm the most entertaining crypto person you could probably watch right now, but maybe I'm too confident in myself. Maybe I'm just too confident in myself. Maybe I got to be the most confident in myself when no one else is. Damn it. Yeah, no comment. Son of a gun, dude. I've been watching AI XBT. Said the CME and New York Stock Exchange are spending lobbying dollars asking the CFTC to shut down Hyperliquid. Oh, I know. I had that bookmarked. I was going to talk about it. Yeah, so there are still, yeah, like the base chain is kind of, there's some stuff happening around there. We were following the base chain for a little bit. We just kind of fell off. We haven't followed anything on there. We'll pull it up. So yeah, $90 billion incumbent does not lobby against a $11 billion protocol unless it's losing on product. But the trade risk isn't the CFTC, it's the USDC choke point. 95% of Hyperliquid liquidity is USDC. It's USDC bridged on Arbitrum. You have to be, it's funny, on Hyperliquid, you can't use the Hyperliquid EVM to get coins on there. You use Arbitrum. You have to have Arbitrum. So so yeah, Hyperliquid, 95% of the Hyperliquid liquidity is USDC, dominated through Circle and Coinbase. Both regulated entities that must comply with a single subpoena. If Circle starts distancing from Hyperliquid treasury operations, that's your 48-hour warning before liquidity freezes. So we have to watch Circle's compliance posture, not CFTC commissioner speeches. So we have to watch what Circle's going to do and see if they bend the knee. And then we'll know that if this is like going to be some kind of like, like a warning sign. And this is the thing. You're not gonna get the biscuit if you're not willing to risk it. And that's with crypto and anything in investing, being a participant in these markets like this and trying to figure out what's gonna be the winner, what's gonna be this, what are you gonna hold? Like, you just have to take the risk. Nothing's risk-free. And if you can withstand all of this, like, we will be massively rewarded. I do believe so. I do believe it. And that's the thing. Like, you have to believe. You gotta believe. You can't be a doomer. It can't always be a doomer, doom scroller, doom bear, because that doesn't help anyone. And we all know that the bear markets are never as long as the bull runs and the bull trend in the S&P and even in crypto. So don't ever get convinced that. Once you get convinced to be that person, you will be a sideliner. You will be someone you will be a sideline trailer park story if you become one of those people. Sad to say, but you just don't be that. I gotta eat a little more, I think. I need a little more food. I think I need to eat a little. All right. Ansem was like, was anybody aware of the base app? Like what's going on chain on the base app? Like, these things just started like running up. So let's see what he's talking about. What the heck happened? Like, what is going on? Who was getting the most transactions? We got, oh yeah, let's see, Hermes node. Oh no, we don't want to go by transactions. Let's go by volume. All right, Pitch World Cup. Virtual protocols. Yeah, I remember that was one of the ones that on-chain buying, virtual was getting some hits. And then, oh yeah, this event. Started ripping, yeah. Feeling that. Oh, root. Definitely VV. Interesting. It's fun. Virtuals was like there. I mean, it 2 billion. Age of the. If you guys remember the tokens that were really trading, like getting a lot of attention in terms of the memes, we had MF coin, Degen, Aerodrome, like Aerodrome token, Brett, Toshi, and what else was trading pretty high on base? That was just kind of like the short list. But yeah, definitely what's taking the cake now is this V. Venice is a private, censorship-resistant generative AI platform, text conversations. Okay, users who stake VVV are eligible to receive an ongoing share of Venice's inference capacity through the Venice API. VVV allows autonomous agents and developers to access private, uncensored, and decentralized inference without relying on a human intermediary, reducing costs and friction for both AI agents and developers. They now have the ability to autonomously access inference via Venice's private and uncensored API, untethering them from the bias and censorship inherent within closed source incumbent AI platforms. Meaning, like when you use ChatGPT, it's very much, you can see how it's not open. It's very much biased in certain, like if you chat with it in a certain way, you say certain words, it all triggers certain responses. And like for instance, if you say anything about a particular area, it will not do it. or if you say this, and it'll say it to one country, but if you say it for another, it won't work. Or it's just very biased. So yeah, so that's probably why this is becoming very, very popular. Okay. Could this be one of those like $10 billion? Could this be like a $10 billion token? And right now you're you're kind of top blasting. You're top blasting it a little bit, hoping that it pulls a 3-4x. You'd have to be buying down here. You had to be buying down here at the beginning of the year when the war started, when everyone was making you think that everything is going into the tubes. You probably would have been paying attention to something like VV Finance if you weren't, I don't know, being super bearish. Damn, that's a nice run up. But you had to be patient though, because right here you think you could, good deal. Well, all right, guys. Bitwise says Hyperliquid was built different. As in 99% of the blockchain's revenue is used to buy and burn hype, it's community first model based on this idea. If the protocol succeeds, the community succeeds. In that spirit, we're pleased to announce that Bitwise will be devoting 10% of the Bitwise Hyperliquid management fee to holding hype on Bitwise balance. Yeah, Ponky, it's listed on Kraken Coin, Bybit, but it's not on Coinbase yet. It's not on Binance. It is on Crypto.com. Oh yeah, this person said you're not prepared for the Elon post the SpaceX Hyperliquid chart candle. Yeah, that could be a thing. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I think we covered enough topics that could pique your interest and get you going down the rabbit holes and stuff like that. But we really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. It's a Monday. I know it might be a little slow for Monday. But always plenty of things to be excited about in crypto. And if you want to continue to keep up with these live streams and just be a part of the community, make sure you guys check out the links in the description. Best way to support the channel is to just check out these links. Make sure you are going into the Discord and also in the Telegram. We're constantly posting signals in the Telegram. Just, any posts that we see that we think might be valuable for you guys to check out. We have Dojo crew members in there also that are admins in the telly, so they're posting what they think is valuable. So there's always something hitting the feed, maybe a chart, maybe a different setup. And it's cool. I think it's valuable. And we do meetings at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time where we just come in, we shoot the shit, and we just get a mastermind on what's going on. And we just check in. We just check in with everyone, and everyone's welcome to come in and chat and talk and share an idea. And it's been pretty cool so far. It's been a nice little tight group of people that come in. So if you want to be a part of that, just you can join the links. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. May the light of the Lord Jesus Christ shine on you and your families, and go into the rest of the week and the rest of this year feeling strong, confident, motivated, and prepared for the most abundant time. All right, guys.